Hello, greetings, welcome, pleasure. I'm riding this e-bike for more than a year. I did like 1500 kilometers, but it's actually quite a bit more. And today I would like to talk about how the e-bike is holding up. What broke down, what doesn't, and things like that. So let's get into it. So this e-bike is made by the brand Engwe, and the model is Engine Pro 2.0. It has fat tires, motor is in a rear wheel. It's foldable, battery is hiding inside of here, and it has front and rear suspension. I'm using it for more like a year and I actually still like it. I'm still driving it regularly and I actually like it more than when I get it first. I didn't really like these fat tires, they are really huge like on a motorbike. But now I started to like them because it suits my needs. They might be really huge and fat, but they're also really comfortable to ride, even in the terrain like this in the woods, because that's where I often drive. First thing that broke down was this part. All these wheels just broke off. So like the bike was working, when I put the gas I was going forward, but the cogwheels were all loose, so like I wasn't able to pedal. This broke down when my brother was driving down the curb, so it wasn't like extreme case scenario. It was normal driving on the road. I don't know why it broke, but I contacted the company. They were meant to send me the replacement part and I was meant to replace it myself. But then it was out of stock for a while, so I went to a local bike repair center and I've asked about it. They said they have it in stock, so I was writing to the company and they told me I should get it fixed in there and that they will cover the costs. And that's what I did, and it was quite cheap fix, actually, like about 40 British pounds, I believe. I was asking the guy if this is some common issue, but he said this shouldn't be happening, especially practically there was a brand new bike. So I don't really know what was wrong, but it broke down. Also, I think it's good to mention that this e-bike, I haven't bought it with my own money. It was sent to me for a review, but I already did a review on my main channel. So this has nothing to do with it. These are all just my thoughts after a year using it. So the wheels broke down, or gears or whatever it's called. And when it broke down, there was like 200 kilometers, I believe. But once they fixed it, it went back to zero, so it like reset. So after they fixed it, there was zero. But then after I started to use it, I've noticed that it doesn't work as it was before. Because like you can see trip, odo. Trip means that when you power on the bike, it should start to count from the zero. But now as you can see, trip and odo are same and they doesn't change. You see trip, odo. So this is some kind of electrical fault. So then I did like another 200 kilometers and I thought maybe if I'm gonna reset it, it's gonna start working, but nope, it didn't start to work. I don't know what exactly is wrong with that. I didn't even try to find out. I'm happy with it like this. So next thing that broke down was the pedal, but that was my fault. The pedal is actually very close to the ground and I didn't pay properly attention and I hit the stone. All of the pedal shattered and just the middle part stayed in there. But as I said, that was my fault. I've just changed the pedal and it's still working okay, even though it's just the plastic one. There were more of these smaller things, but it's like nothing to do with the condition. For example, I was driving downhill for a while and the brakes got really hot. And it stopped to work, but that's normal occurrence. This happens normally when you brake heavily on a long downhill. As you can see, it's all dirty because I'm still using it. This rear suspension mechanism is kinda weird, as you can see, and there is like a small issue. For example, now it's on the ground. As you can see here, there is like a little bit give. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't do anything. I just like try to lift the bike and yeah, there is like a little bit of give. I tightened all the screws, so it has nothing to do with the tightening of the screws. There is just like something inside. The hole is larger than it should be. Here, I think you can nicely see it here as well. but the suspension is still working fine. Then next thing, I get like a flat tire. Just yesterday I've decided I'm gonna shoot this video, and I went to grab the bike and I found out the rear tire was flat completely. I've tried to inflate it, but I heard the air is getting out. I've checked it and I found like a big nail. Yeah, it was at least like 2 inches, like a 4 centimeters nail, and it was fully in. I took it out with the pliers. I don't know how exactly that could happen because it was really large. I don't know if it was sabotage or something. Then I fixed it and it's still holding absolutely fine. I fixed it. I wasn't even dismantling the rear wheel, you know, I didn't like take it out of the frame. I was able to do it without it. It was deflated, so I just took the inner tube partially out and I glued it in. I weighted, put it back in, inflated, and it's holding. So I'm happy about that. So now let's talk about the battery. I made like here it's showing 1552 kilometers, but it's more like 1900 kilometers altogether with all the resets, I think. The battery is still holding relatively good. I definitely feel it's draining more quicker, but even after 2000 kilometers I think it's within the range. I think this battery is gonna be working for a while, but then once they hit certain limit, then they wouldn't be holding the charge at all. At the beginning I remember I was able to do like 20 kilometers per bar. There are 5 bars, so 100 kilometers was realistic. I'm sure I wouldn't be able to make 100 kilometers on the same terrain with 5 bars, fully charged battery. But that's just how it goes. It's like same with your phone. The more cycle you go through, discharge and recharge, the less it's holding the charge. But as I say, it's still really acceptable even after almost 2000 kilometers. I think it's worth mentioning that the motor is really loud. It was loud even from the beginning, but now that it's like winter in here and I was riding on the snow, and I think it went inside, and because of that it might be a little bit louder. I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely loud. But I think it's also loud because the bike is unlocked. I mean, the maximum speed is unlocked, so it has more output. Then as you can see, the chain is like a bit rusty. As I've mentioned, there was a snow and I was still driving in the snow, and there was a salt in the snow, so that's like normal. I already put some oil onto it. For now it's okay. So I think that's about all that I wanted to say. I actually like the bike more than I first started to use it. It's actually very decent for what I'm using it for. I really like that it can go faster than, you know, the 25 kilometers limit. That's what they started to remove from the newer versions. So I'm really glad this old one still has it. And throttle as well. I'm using throttle especially when I'm standing, like on the, you know, lights. Then when you want to accelerate from the 0, then I'm like put the throttle and you go in. You don't need to shift the gears or anything, you just, you know, go. And then you start to pedal. I like it a lot. That's really useful. So overall this is a solid bike even after a year using it. And I'm using it, I don't want to say recklessly, but I think it is a little bit reckless. Now let's talk a little bit about the brand Engwe. I think it's like a Chinese brand and they are only selling online. This is a big deal breaker for some people because clearly it's gonna be coming to you in a big package. You have to assemble it yourself, and in case something happens you can only talk to the company online. You're not able to go to the store where they can help you. And I think this is like the biggest deal breaker for people, that they cannot go somewhere and talk to somebody. If you have any experience with this brand, let me know down below. And I think that's about it. I have one more model, Boost 2.0 or something. That one has a fast charger, which is really great. My brother is still using it, and I think he did also like 2000 kilometers at least. So I can do upgrade video with that as well, because there are also some things that I think it's worth mentioning them. Okay, that's about it. I would like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it or it helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more random videos. Peace.